Okay, I'm going to finish this part of my first saga I am by going up. And then I'm going to write character bios for the main heroes of my universe. Basically the ones that are coming, that's going to be in the rest of Saga 1. But I'm going to do it on a different, I'm going to make the rest of Saga 1 on a different chat page I am. Did I go too far? Yes, I did. Okay. So first we're going to start off with this retcon. Then World's Greatest Volume 2 number 2, and then Skyforge number, and then maybe Skyforge number 2.
Understood. Retcon applied. In your universe, the Green Torch who appears in World's Greatest Volume 2 number 1 and World's Greatest Volume 2 number 2 is Hal Ashford. There is no character named Hal Jordan in your universe. All future references to Green Torch, Hal, in team-ups or major crossover stories will be Hal Ashford only. Alan, the other Green Torch, remains separate and only appears where you previously established him. Green Torch 0.2, Lightning Bolt number 1, Warrior number 0.2. Going forward, any Coastal City Green Torch teaming with Nightwolf equals Hal Ashford. No mention of Hal Jordan again in your canon. Continuity corrected.
Anyways, so the first bios are going to be for Hal Ashford, Skyforge, and Nightwolf. Since those are the next, hang on. Since, yeah, those would be, oh, and Lightning Bug. Since those would be the ones who would appear later on. And I technically could also do the list of villains from the Nightwolf stories and the Nightwolf stories volume 1 here as well. And then move on to here, and then just copy it and paste it onto the newer one. Since this has a whole bunch of
World's Greatest,
stuff.
Volume 2, Number 2, Nightwolf and Green Torch, Hal Ashford. The ocean was angry long before anyone understood why. Cargo ships off the coast of Jackson City were being torn open like tin cans. Fishing vessels vanished. Oil platforms went dark. Survivors spoke of a towering figure rising from the black waves. Massive, armored, and scarred gray flesh, eyes cold and ancient. The King of Sharks had returned. In Coastal City, emerald light cut through the night sky as Green Torch, Hal Ashford streaked over the water, scanning the ocean floor with a wide lattice of glowing energy. His jaw tightened. Energy spikes below the trench, Hal muttered. And something big. A whirlpool erupted. From the churning sea rose the great white shark. The same humanoid shark monarch Hal had once defeated. Larger now, stronger. Jagged scars traced his body like war paint. You surface dwellers never learn, the shark growled, voice like grinding stone. The sea bows to me, and now your cities will too. Before Hal could respond, a blast of toxic green vapor exploded from the docks behind him. The air sizzled. Standing atop a shipping crane, cloaked in segmented armor shaped like a scorpion's shell, was Scorpion, Jackson City's poison-obsessed menace. His mechanical tail arched over his back, dripping luminous venom. Let the shark have the water, Scorpion sneered. I will take the land. Hal's eyes narrowed. 2 eco-terrorists, 1 coastline. A voice crackled through his comm from the shadows of a nearby rooftop. You're in my city. Nightwolf stepped forward from darkness, cape flowing behind him, white eyes glowing in the dim harbor light. The great white shark lunged first, launching from the water with explosive force. Hal formed a massive emerald barrier, but the shark's momentum shattered it like glass. The impact sent Hal skidding across the docks. Nightwolf fired a grappling line, wrapping it around a crane to avoid being swept into the sea. He's stronger than before. He's angrier than before, Hal replied, summoning twin emerald chains that snapped around the shark's arms. The shark flexed. The chains cracked. Behind them, Scorpion leapt from crane to crane, launching razor-edged venom darts. One sliced across Nightwolf's shoulder armor, sizzling on contact. Neurotoxin, Nightwolf muttered, activating a filter system in his suit. Fast-acting. Scorpion's tail slammed down, embedding into the concrete and releasing a spreading cloud of poison gas toward the city streets. Hal thrust his hand outward, creating a rotating emerald turbine that vacuumed the gas into a contained sphere. I'll handle the toxins. Focus on the shark, Nightwolf replied, sprinting forward. Nightwolf vaulted onto a cargo container and launched himself directly at the great white shark, landing a shock pulse strike into the creature's ribs. The shark barely flinched, but it distracted him long enough for Hal to encase the shark's legs in a hardened emerald vise. The Ocean King roared and slammed both fists into the dock, splitting it open. Water surged upward. From the flooding pier, more sharks began circling, answering their king. Of course he brought back up, Hal said grimly. Nightwolf triggered a sonar disruptor from his belt. A high-frequency pulse rippled through the water. The circling sharks thrashed and retreated. The great white shark snarled and broke free again, tackling Hal into the harbor. Both disappeared beneath the waves. Nightwolf spun just in time to block Scorpion's stinger with a reinforced gauntlet. The venom hissed against his armor. You prefer darkness, Scorpion hissed. Let me blind you. A burst of fluorescent toxin exploded at Nightwolf's feet, coating the area in glowing vapor. Visibility dropped instantly. Nightwolf switched to thermal vision. Scorpion's heat signature flared bright red in the mist. He fired a cable, yanking Scorpion forward, then countered with a precise strike to the villain's tail joint. The mechanical stinger sparked violently. Underwater, Hal Ashford's emerald aura blazed brighter. He formed a massive construct, a glowing deep-sea cage reinforced with layered energy plating. The great white shark clawed at it, teeth grinding against solid light. You're king of the sharks, Hal said through clenched teeth, but you're not king of my coast. He expanded the construct, forcing the shark upward, launching both of them back onto the broken dock in a tidal explosion. Nightwolf ducked under Scorpion's tail and planted an electromagnetic charge directly into the Scorpion armor's power core. Checkmate, Nightwolf said. He triggered it. The suit shorted out in a cascade of sparks. Scorpion collapsed, paralyzed by his own disrupted venom system. The great white shark roared again and charged, but Hal created a towering emerald trident construct that pinned the shark against a reinforced shipping container. Nightwolf fired a high-voltage pulse into the water pooling around the shark's feet. Electricity surged. The massive creature convulsed and finally went still. Silence settled over the ruined harbor. Police sirens approached in the distance. Hal floated down, breathing steady. You always have this much chaos? Only on Tuesdays, Nightwolf replied. Authorities arrived to take custody of Scorpion and the great white shark, both heavily restrained. The shark secured and reinforced marine transport designed for metahuman containment. Hal looked toward the horizon. He won't stop. The ocean is his kingdom. And this city is mine, Nightwolf answered quietly. Hal extended a hand. Emerald light flickered around it. Nightwolf clasped it firmly. Until the next storm, Green Torch said. Nightwolf disappeared back into the shadows as Hal Ashford rose into the sky, a streak of green vanishing over the sea. Far below the surface, something ancient stirred, watching. To be continued. Skyforge number 2, Starfall Devourer. The first sign was not the fire in the sky. It was the silence. Across West Haven's industrial district, power grids began to flicker and die. Streetlights dimmed. Air traffic control scrambled as navigation systems glitched. Emergency generators failed one by one, drained dry in seconds. Then something fell from orbit. A burning streak tore through the clouds and slammed into the outskirts of the city, carving a smoking trench through concrete and steel. By the time the dust settled, something was moving inside the crater. News helicopters circled from a distance. Inside Forge Tower, Skyforge, Ethan Calloway stood before a holographic display projecting cascading energy failures across the city. "It's not destruction," Ethan muttered. "It's feeding." The crater pulsed. From the smoke rose a towering alien organism. Elongated limbs, charcoal black skin webbed with glowing violet veins. Its head split open in 4 petal-like segments, revealing a spiraling core of raw energy. The creature radiated gravitational distortion. Scientists would later classify it simply as parasite. Where it stepped, batteries drained. Cars died mid-street. Drones fell from the air. The alien absorbed it all. Electrical energy, kinetic force, even heat signatures fading around it. A police tactical unit opened fire. The bullets slowed midair, then dropped lifelessly to the ground. Parasite turned its head. The officer's body cameras went dark. A sonic boom split the sky. Skyforge descended in a streak of blue-white propulsion, landing between the creature and the retreating civilians. His armor, silver and cobalt, pulsing with reactor light, recalibrated instantly as readings flooded his visor. "Energy siphon. Adaptive absorption. Fantastic," Ethan muttered. "Let's test your limits." He launched first, a focused plasma lance blasting into Parasite's torso. The beam struck and vanished. The creature's veins flared brighter. Parasite released a shockwave of absorbed power. The blast hurled Skyforge through a parking structure, concrete collapsing around him. Inside the rubble, Ethan gritted his teeth. "It converts incoming energy into mass and output," he realized. "The harder I hit it, the stronger it gets." Parasite moved through the streets, each step dimming buildings. It touched a transformer station, the entire block blacked out as the alien swelled in size, muscles thickening. Skyforge rocketed back into the sky, drawing power directly from his internal arc core reactor instead of the grid. He switched tactics. Instead of blasting, he shifted to kinetic combat, solid alloy constructs forming around his fists. He struck. Parasite absorbed the kinetic impact partially, but not all of it. The alien staggered. "Good," Ethan breathed. "You're not invincible." Parasite adapted quickly. Its elongated arms split open, releasing tendrils of violet energy that latched onto Skyforge's armor. Warning alarms screamed inside Ethan's helmet as the alien began siphoning directly from his arc core. Power levels dropped rapidly. Skyforge ripped the tendrils free, but the creature's surface shimmered, learning. "You're not just feeding," Ethan said, circling it. "You're studying." Parasite's voice echoed, distorted, layered, almost mechanical. "Assimilate, survive, expand." The creature lunged. Skyforge boosted upward, drawing the alien away from the city center. He flew straight toward West Haven Bay. "If you want power," Ethan muttered, "let's see how you handle overload." He activated emergency protocols. The arc core began charging beyond safe parameters. Parasite followed, absorbing residual atmospheric energy as it pursued. Over open water, Skyforge turned mid-air and unleashed a concentrated gravitational compression field. Not energy, but pressure. The ocean beneath them compressed violently, forming a swirling vortex. Parasite tried to absorb the force, but gravity wasn't energy in the way it understood. Its body began to distort under the crushing pressure. Ethan's reactor hit critical. He plunged straight down, dragging the alien with him, and detonated the arc core's discharge. Not as a blast outward, but inward, collapsing into a contained implosion sphere around Parasite. Light flashed. The ocean exploded upward. When the water settled, Parasite lay submerged inside a hardened alloy containment sphere forged from Skyforge's adaptive nanometal. Inside, the alien writhed weakly, starved of available energy. Skyforge hovered above the ocean, breathing hard as his armor rebooted on reserve power. "You don't get West Haven," he said quietly. Containment ships arrived within minutes. Specialized extraterrestrial response units funded quietly through Calloway Industries. Parasite was transported in a dampened stasis field designed to deprive it of external power sources. As the sun rose over the bay, power slowly returned to the city grid. Ethan stood alone on a rooftop overlooking West Haven. His systems replayed the alien's final words: "Assimilate, survive, expand." "Not random," Ethan murmured. "Purpose-driven." He looked up at the sky, at the stars. "If you're scouts," he said quietly, "then someone sent you." His armor powered down to a dim glow as the wind moved around him, and far beyond Earth's orbit, something pulsed in the dark. To be continued.
Now, here we go with Ethan Caudill, with the retcon for Ethan, and about the Sky Forge, about the Forge Tower, and also Skyforge number 3. Yeah. And even though I'm also writing their bios on this one, you won't see that until...
Retcon accepted. There is no Forge Tower in the Skyforge stories.
Chat.
Here's the corrected canon for Skyforge. Tashash of Skyforge, Ethan Calloway. Updated canon. Real name, Ethan Calloway. Hero name, Skyforge. City, West Haven. Occupation, reporter at the Beacon Times. Personal life, Ethan lives in West Haven. He works as a reporter. He lives with his best friend and roommate, Caleb Mercer, a news photographer. He has recently started dating his co-worker Victoria Hale, as Ethan, not as Skyforge. His adoptive parents are Jonathan Calloway and Martha Calloway. There is no public corporate tower or superhero skyscraper connected to him. Skyforge's hidden base. Even though he does not have a tower, Ethan does have a secret alien base similar in concept to a Fortress of Solitude. Name, the Solaran Vault. Location, hidden beneath the original crash site crater outside Smallview, Kansas. Description, accessible through alien biometric activation. Made of adaptive crystalline alien metal. Houses, cryptic Solaran tech archives, holographic recordings of his biological parents, alien knowledge database, suit enhancement chamber, power regulation core, glows faint blue and gold when activated. Only responds to Ethan's DNA signature. The Solaran Vault is not a headquarters for a team. It is personal. It is heritage. It is where Ethan goes to learn who he is. If you'd like, I can next.
Anyways, though, I'm thinking for the 2 big team-ups of all my heroes before they get to where they are going is to have them first fight some more mercenaries and then have them fight a big bad from one of their stories. So I think and since Ethan only has, well, like 3 big bads, which are Playwright, Parasite, and the new villain in this story, Molten, I'm gonna do Playwright. I need to give Warrior some villains, so I'm gonna work on some Warrior stories. For Green Torch, I'm probably gonna actually bring back... Okay, I'm gonna just have to go up here. The Limnix Ravager. Since I haven't gotten into the other torches yet, which I will do after this big team up, since the people of the galaxy will realize that Hal isn't really ready yet. So they're going to have him be trained. It's going to be kind of like a Sinestro type thing. Velocity has Inferno and Frostbite, and I believe that's it. So I'm probably going to bring in some more villains for him. But for the big team up, have Frostbite. For Nightwolf, it's either going to be Mad Jack or the Shadow Man. Or actually just bring in a couple Nightwolf villains, since he's going to have like multiple volumes, so probably just bring in multiple for him to fight. For Waterman, I'm going to make some villains for Waterman and for Mist. And for Changeling, I'm just going to bring in a sibling. So yeah, anyways, here is Skyforge number 3, Fire Beneath West Haven.
Skyforge number 3, Fire Beneath West Haven. Deep beneath the Kansas plains, the crystalline walls of the Solaran Vault shimmered in soft blue and gold light. Alien glyphs pulsed across translucent panels as Ethan Calloway stood alone in the chamber's central platform. A holographic projection of Solaran rotated slowly above him, his lost world, fractured and burning in silent vacuum. Energy fluctuation detected. The vault's harmonic tone echoed in its strange melodic language, now partially translated by Ethan's months of study. He focused on the projection. A thermal spike pattern blinked over a map of Earth. West Haven. Ethan exhaled. Of course it is. The symbols adjusted, showing subterranean heat signatures rising unnaturally fast, not tectonic. Directed, focused, weaponized. The projection faded as Ethan stepped back. The crystalline floor responded, forming his suit around him in luminous bands of forged light. The blue and silver armor of Skyforge, wrapping around his body before dissolving back into civilian clothes. He wasn't needed yet. But soon, the vault dimmed as he ascended back to the surface world. That evening, Ethan sat across from Victoria Hale at a quiet rooftop restaurant in downtown West Haven. The city lights reflected in her eyes as she smiled at him. "You've been distracted lately," she said, gently tapping his hand. "Alien invasions? Secret billionaire plots? Hidden volcanoes under the city?" Ethan laughed, maybe a little too quickly. "Just newsroom chaos." She narrowed her eyes playfully. "You disappear a lot during newsroom chaos." Caleb Mercer's voice suddenly echoed in Ethan's mind, not literally, but as memory. "You're not subtle, man." "I promise," Ethan said softly. "If I ever vanish on you, it's for a good reason." Victoria studied him for a long moment, then smiled. "You're a terrible liar, Ethan Calloway." The moment was warm, real, normal. Then the ground trembled. A low rumble vibrated the glassware. Car alarms began to scream below. Ethan's eyes shifted, subtle, calculating. Victoria stood. "That didn't feel normal." "No," Ethan said quietly. "It didn't." The next morning at the Beacon Times, chaos had replaced calm. Screens showed footage of steam vents bursting from downtown streets, pavement cracking, asphalt melting. Chief editor Martin Halloway barked orders across the newsroom. "I want eyes on this now. Hale, Mercer, you're up." Victoria grabbed her press badge. "Where's Ethan?" Caleb glanced around. Ethan's desk was empty. "Probably chasing the story," Caleb muttered. They arrived near the industrial district where police had blocked off several blocks. The street ahead glowed faintly orange between fractures in the concrete. Victoria began her live report. "We are witnessing unprecedented geological instability beneath West Haven." The street exploded. Molten rock erupted upward like a geyser, showering sparks and flaming debris into the sky. From the crater rose a towering shape, humanoid but jagged, its body formed of cracked obsidian plates filled with glowing lava veins. Its eyes burned like twin furnaces. The creature roared, a sound like grinding stone and collapsing mountains. Emergency responders scattered. Caleb snapped photos instinctively. "That's not tectonic," he breathed. The creature slammed its fists into the pavement, sending a shockwave that flipped a patrol car. Victoria stumbled. Caleb grabbed her. Then the creature turned toward them. Heat rolled off it in waves. Caleb looked at Victoria. "Run!" She hesitated. "Go!" She sprinted for cover. Caleb stood frozen as the molten giant raised an arm, lava pooling along its surface into a blazing projectile. And then the sky cracked open with a sonic boom. Blue light streaked downward like a comet. Skyforge slammed into the molten creature, driving it back through a warehouse wall in a burst of steam and fire. Victoria looked back, breath caught in her throat. Skyforge. Caleb stared and realized the movement, the posture, the voice as it echoed in the clash. Inside the collapsing warehouse, the molten being reformed, magma flowing like blood through fractured rock. "I am molten," it growled, voice like grinding metal, born from the planet's fury. Skyforge hovered, eyes glowing. "You're not natural tectonics. You're engineered." Molten roared and unleashed a torrent of lava. Skyforge spun upward, deflecting the blast with compressed energy fields generated from his gauntlets. Steam filled the air as superheated rock met alien force. Outside, Caleb edged closer to the shattered wall, camera forgotten. He saw Skyforge take a hit, hard. Saw the hero stagger. Saw him grit his teeth in a way Caleb had seen 100 times during late-night deadlines. "No way," Caleb whispered. Molten charged again, smashing through support beams. The building began collapsing. Skyforge grabbed the creature and launched both of them into the sky before the structure fell completely. They crashed into the river bordering West Haven. Steam exploded upward in a towering white plume. Water boiled violently as Molten thrashed. But its lava veins began dimming. Skyforge tightened his grip and forced the creature deeper into the water. Molten roared one final time before hardening, cooling into inert black stone. The river calmed. Skyforge lifted the petrified mass and deposited it onto a reinforced industrial barge as authorities approached. The battle was over. Later that night, Caleb sat alone in their apartment. The door opened. Ethan walked in. They stared at each other in silence. "You going to tell me?" Caleb finally said. "Or do I have to pretend I didn't see you throw a lava monster into the river?" Ethan didn't smile. He didn't joke. He just closed the door. "You weren't supposed to find out like that." Caleb leaned back in his chair. "Since when?" "Since always." A long pause. "Victoria doesn't know," Caleb said carefully. Ethan's expression hardened slightly, "and she can't." Caleb studied him, then nodded. "I won't tell her." Relief flickered across Ethan's face. From his pocket, he pulled out a sleek silver watch with faint blue lines circling its face. "I was going to give this to you eventually anyway," Ethan said. "Press the button on the side if you're ever in real trouble. It sends a direct signal to the Solaren Vault. I'll come." Caleb turned it over in his hand. "So I get a hero hotline?" "You get back up." Caleb smirked. "Guess I picked the right roommate." Ethan finally allowed himself a small grin. Outside, West Haven's skyline glowed peacefully again, but beneath the earth, the Solaren Vault sensors flickered once more. Another heat signature, smaller, moving, to be continued.
To be honest, I don't mind the cheesy lines, because if it's a dark story, it lightens it up a bit. And if it's a comedy story, it like reminds me of like the Golden Ages. But no, Molten isn't dead, okay? He's just put out for now. Because I'm planning on giving each hero, at least 4 heroes, a elemental character right now. You know, Earth, Air, Wind, and Fire. Skyforge got Fire, which is Molten. Waterman is getting Water, which would be a younger kid, a teenager with water powers that doesn't fully have his under control. The Mist will have Air. He'll have an air villain. And Nightwolf is going to have the Earth/Nature villain. Anyways, I'm going to now have to retcon Skyforge's suits. It's not blue and silver. It's yellow and red. So here is the retcon. Suit of Skyforge's, the one that he had
Retcon
in his
applied.
original
Skyforge
story.
suit update. Official design. From this point forward in your universe, Ethan Callaway Skyforge wears primary suit color, metallic gold, boots, light red, chest emblem, a blue triangle in the center of the suit. Inside the triangle is a light red SF symbol for Skyforge. This functions like his version of a house crest, similar in symbolic placement to Superman's emblem. Cape, blue exterior with red interior lining. The suit still manifests through alien Solaran technology from the Solaran Vault. The previous blue-silver armor look is no longer canon. All future Skyforge stories will reflect gold suit, blue triangle with red SF, light red boots, blue and red cape. Continuity updated.
Anyways, here we go with World's Greatest, Volume 2, Number 3.
World's Greatest, Volume 2, Number 3, Nightwolf and Lightning Bug, The Thief in the Dark. Opening scene, Jackson City, 1:13 a.m. Rain drizzles over neon-lit skyscrapers. Inside the Jackson City Museum of Antiquities, silent alarms flicker, but no one hears them. A security guard walks past a display case holding the Midnight Obsidian, a gem rumored to amplify darkness itself. The lights cut out. A card lands on the floor. A black playing card with a silver wolf skull and the words, "Nightjack was here. The glass is gone. So is the gem." Scene 2, the rooftop. Perched across the street is Nightwolf. Max Jackson lowers his binoculars. Open quote. Malcolm Pierce, close quote. A voice crackles in his comm. Open quote. You know, for a city that never sleeps, this place is kinda gloomy. Close quote. A streak of blue lightning lands beside him. Lightning Bug pulls off his hood, sparks dancing across his fingertips. Tyler Navarro, 15. Too young for this world, in Nightwolf's opinion. Open quote. Nightwolf, you weren't called. Lightning Bug. Yeah, well, world's greatest team-up brand. Figured I'd show. Close quote. Nightwolf growls softly. Open quote. This isn't a game, Tyler. Close quote. Scene 3, the villain revealed. Cut to an abandoned clock tower. Inside, surrounded by stolen artifacts, stands Nightjack, Malcolm Pierce, a master thief dressed in a black tailored coat with silver lining, gloves etched with microtech lock breakers, and a mask resembling a cracked porcelain jester. The Midnight Obsidian glows in his hand. Open quote. Jackson City adores monsters. Malcolm smirks. So I give them one.
Retcon
Close
Lightning
quote.
Bug.
He activates the gem. Darkness spreads like liquid smoke across the tower walls. Scene 4. The confrontation, Nightwolf and Lightning Bug track Pierce using museum frequency logs and rooftop surveillance. They enter the clock tower. The doors slam shut behind them. Darkness consumes the room.
And this
Lightning Bug
will
sparks
be
flicker.
the only story
Open quote.
like
Lightning
this,
Bug.
probably.
Okay, that's not
With the
normal
open
dark.
Quote, you know, in the
Close
scene.
quote. Shadow constructs form, twisted wolves and claws made of solid night. Nightwolf fights silently, blades flashing. Lightning Bug releases controlled bursts of electricity, illuminating the space in blue pulses. But Nightjack appears behind them. He moves like a phantom. He disables Lightning Bug with a shock-absorbing gauntlet. Nightwolf lunges, but Pierce anticipated him. He whispers, open quote, "You and I aren't so different, Max. We both haunt rooftops." Close quote. Nightwolf freezes for half a second. That's enough. Nightjack escapes upward. Scene 5, the turning point. Lightning Bug groans, getting up. Open quote, "He knew your name." Close quote, Nightwolf doesn't respond. Instead, he activates thermal scanning in his cowl. The obsidian amplifies darkness, but heat signatures remain. Open quote, "He's not magic, he's calculating." Close quote, Lightning Bug grins. Open quote, "So we outcalculate him." Close quote. They split up. Tyler overloads the building's generator. Nightwolf cuts off all exits. The tower lights surge back on. The obsidian flickers unstable. Final Fight Nightjack attempts one last escape using a grappling launcher. Lightning Bug fires a precision electric bolt, disabling the launcher midair. Nightwolf leaps from the balcony, tackling Pierce into a display case. The obsidian shatters. Darkness dissipates. Nightjack struggles, but Nightwolf pins him. Open quote, Nightjack, "You can't guard every shadow." Close quote. Open quote, Nightwolf, "I don't have to." Close quote. Lightning Bug cuffs him with reinforced containment restraints. Police sirens approach. Ending scene, rooftop reflection. Malcolm Pierce is transported to Ironcrest Penitentiary. Lightning Bug leans against the ledge. Open quote, "See, not all bad." Close quote, Nightwolf stares over the skyline. Open quote, "You were reckless." Close quote, Tyler sighs. Open quote, "Yeah, but I helped." Close quote, silence. Then, open quote, "You did." Close quote, it's not praise, but it's acceptance. Lightning Bug smiles. A new alliance is forming. Villain profile. Malcolm Pierce, Nightjack, master thief, strategic genius, specializes in symbolic high-profile robberies, uses tech-enhanced shadow tools, obsessed with proving he's smarter than heroes. Now imprisoned, but not broken. Tease for Volume 2, Number 4. In a dark cell at Ironcrest, a guard finds another black card on the floor. Checkmate. The lights go out. To be continued.
Now here is the retcon of Lightning Bug. Since at first he was called Lightning Bug because, well, his suit could light in the original universe. In my original universe, it was because he shot light like projectiles, kind of like Iron Man, and he could fly, and he had a bug suit. And I was doing a whole evil Firefly, like a whole Firefly category, which is where the Riftwing and Limnix Ravager came from. They were alien Firefly type things, and a Firefly is also known as a lightning bug, so I made that hero. I made 2 other ones, but I'm not going to bring them back. Most likely, since they were just villains that wasn't interesting. But in my new universe, it's because of, well, that. He shoot light projectiles, but he also made it to where his suit could glow. But then in a later story, they mention him having lightning in his fingers, so I'm making it to where after his first encounter with Mark Mercer, the werewolf, he accidentally got some chemical on him during that fight, because Mark still had the chemicals on him that turned him into werewolf, because his werewolf form is a mutant gene, a metahuman gene he has, since they're metahumans, meta people, or mutants, basically, kind of like the X-Men and metahuman thing. X-Men, Marvel, metahuman DC, kind of like that, but like to where it does different stuff for you. And, well, Tyler's was a little electric shock he can do. Not too powerful to kill someone, though, but powerful enough to knock them out. So here's the retcon.
Lightning Bug. Here's the updated official version of Lightning Bug.
That sounded creepy at first.
Retcon, Lightning Bug, Tyler Navarro. Here is the updated official version of Lightning Bug in your universe. Lightning Bug, real name, Tyler Navarro, age, early teens, high school student, city, Evergreen City, status, young metahuman hero. Suit design updated. Tyler's costume is designed to resemble a real lightning bug, Firefly. Sleek black and deep green bodysuit, bioluminescent yellow-green abdominal light panel that glows in the dark, subtle wing pattern textures across the back and shoulders, mask with softly glowing eye lenses. The glow intensifies when he charges energy. At first, his glowing suit was the reason he chose the name Lightning Bug. He intentionally designed it that way. He wanted criminals to see him coming. Open quote, "If I'm gonna be small, I'm gonna shine." Close quote. Tech origins. Before discovering his metahuman abilities, Tyler relied completely on self-built tech. Custom wrist gauntlets that fire solid light projectiles, flash burst blinding pulses, short-range EMP-like stuns, homemade lab built in his bedroom to develop his gear. He engineered everything himself, which is extremely impressive for someone his age. Metahuman gene discovery. After exposure to chemicals during the Mark Mercer incident, Tyler later learned he has a latent metahuman gene. His natural ability generates a mild bioelectric charge, not lethal, strong enough to knock opponents unconscious, can surge through physical contact or focus through his gloves. His powers are still developing, but they are nowhere near the level of full electric manipulators like Jay Garnett. Tyler is still primarily a tech-based hero with minor electric abilities. Cash, personality, idealistic, talks more than he should, sees heroism as inspiring, not grim, still learning how dangerous the world really is. Even though Nightwolf is hard on him, Tyler looks up to him deeply. Tyler's favorite heroes, official ranking. 1. Velocity. Ethan Mercer, his absolute favorite hero, loves the speed, loves the confidence, thinks he's the coolest hero alive. 2. Robin Hood. Respects his discipline and skill, thinks archery is quietly awesome. 3. Nightwolf Max Jackson. Even though Nightwolf doesn't like him, even though he's harsh, Tyler still admires him. Open quote, he's intense, but he shows up. That matters. Close quote. Dynamic with Nightwolf. Nightwolf believes Tyler is too young. Tyler believes Nightwolf underestimates him. Nightwolf sees danger. Tyler sees hope. It's not mentorship. It's tension mixed with reluctant respect. Current status in the universe. Lightning Bug is a high school student balancing homework and hero work, a growing metahuman, a self-trained tech genius, one of the youngest active heroes, slowly earning his place among the world's greatest. And he's just getting started.
You see, I wanted... Okay, I didn't want Nightwolf to really have... Okay, I made Nightwolf 2 sidekicks in my original... Not original. In my third reboot. Actually, no. One of them was from my original. That was Blue Jay. But he was Nightwolf's best friend at the time. Because in my original universe, Nightwolf got adopted by his best friend's family. Then I rebooted to where it was his butler who adopted him. Yeah, Batman, I know, but... And also, oh yeah, we're gonna bring in Nightwolf's aunt again. Because he has an aunt, but she didn't want to adopt Max at the time as she just lost her daughter. So she couldn't think that she could take care of another kid. But I'm probably gonna bring her in as a not really an action-packed story for Nightwolf, but like more of a gather down, calm down story basically. Anyways, though, his sidekicks in my third remake, which was the one before this, that I did make stories for, but never posted them, really. Blue was Blue Jay. He was a Dick Grayson type character. So, a Robin-like character. And the Batgirl character, okay, at first I had her in the original universe. She doesn't have a real name in any universe, and I don't remember what Blue Jay's real name was. But in the original universe, the Batgirl-like character was named Wolf Girl. But in my third remake, she was named Nocturne. Second universe was Nocturnal. And then I named her Nocturne in the third one. I brought back Fox Woman, but in my original universe, she was a Catwoman-like character. In my new one, she's a Red Claw-like character. But yeah. Anyways, that's all for now. I believe that's all for now.